Good morning here in Espoo to everyone and also following from the stream around the world. Um, Warm welcome to the seminar Let's Be Better, including people with disabilities in sport. And today we are gathered to discuss inclusion and equity in sports, topics that naturally concern us all. My name is Robert Lindberg, and I am one of your hosts today. It's a pleasure to serve as your host. Shortly about me, about actually soon 10 years ago, time does fly, I experienced traumatic brain injury in a hockey game and was told that there was actually no use in rehabbing me. But, you know, as the Finns do, we dug out some sisu, and with a great team, I managed to rehab myself. And now, about 4 Ironman races later, I'm happy to stand here on stage with you, Ronja.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Ronja Humph. I'm a paraswimmer. More exactly, my classification is S11, so that means I'm basically totally blind. So there's no point of waving to me. I'm not going to see you, but come up and talk to me, so I'll be happy to talk to you. To make this seminar more accessible, we'll have live captioning provided by and produced by Eventia Oy, and it'll here on stage. It'll appear on these screens here. Would you mind point out them?
Yes, to the right and to the left.
Thank you. And we'll also use these in-ear monitors to make the communication easier for us.
Yeah. Our event is a part of the Vi vill också delta project by Finlandssvenska Idrott, funded by Get Finland Moving, the program as outlined by the Finnish government. The project aims to increase the physical availability of people with disabilities and or illnesses. This fantastic day is organized in collaboration with Hanna Holmen, the Swedish Cultural Center.
Absolutely. Today we're here from para-athletes and experts, and also enjoy panel discussion. And we also encourage you all to share your thoughts and questions and insights throughout the day. You can do this by microphone here at Hanna Holmen. You have microphones there in your rows, and they work. So there's the button that when you press it, there should be a red light shining. I don't know. I can see it. Then it's on, and when you press the button again, then it's off. And you can also share your thoughts via Mentimeter. And the instructions goes as following. So when you take out your phone or computer and go to www.menti.com and insert the code, which I don't remember. Do you want to
72309690. That is 72, 30, 96, and 90.
Exactly. You can also scan the QR code that should appear on the screen behind us to go to and write your thoughts in the Mentimeter.
Yes. Now, before we move on with today's program, we want to remind you the principles of a safer space. Our seminar aims to create an environment both on-site and naturally online too, where everyone can be themselves and participate safely. This requires responsibility from all of us, and there is also a safeguarding officer available on site. Perfect.
Yes, and then about physical safety. So here in this auditorium, we have 3 emergency exits. One on both sides of the stage and one up to the left. Would you mind pointing out them?
Yes, one up there, and then one to the left down here on the ground level, and then one to our right just by the stage.
Yes, and there's a reception desk. It's a hard language. The defibrillator is available at the reception desk, and the desk is also available to help you at any time, whenever you need it. But next, we'll hand over to Victor Andersson, Program Director at Hanna Holmen, who will offer his own welcome to the participants. Go ahead, Victor.
Tusen tack Many thanks. Paljon kiitoksia. Good morning, huomenta, good morning, dear friends. My name is Victor Andersson and I work as Program Director here at Hanaholmen, and it is my and our greatest pleasure to welcome this event and all you here physically at Hanaholmen and following the stream to this conference. You have caught us in an extremely busy yet exciting year. Half a decade ago, Hanaholmen was inaugurated as a center for cooperation between Finland and Sweden. And this is something that we have been highlighting and celebrating throughout the year, which is now coming to an end. And of course, this is a great culmination to have this conference here as well. When Sweden, in connection to Finland's independence jubilee, which was at that time 50 years, in 1967 decided to forgive 100 million Swedish kronor in wartime debts, this required a return gift. Consequently, the Finnish government established a jointly administered cultural center to build bridges between the two countries. Since the inauguration of Hanaholmen in 1975, we have worked to foster cooperation covering all sectors of society, which means that we try to include culture and art, education and research, politics and society, business and civil society, anything where added value can come out of collaboration between two countries. Sports is naturally an important topic to cover for Hanaholmen, and it is also an element that brings together the two countries to cheer and to compete, which is describing for any close relation, siblings and neighboring countries alike. We all know the importance of sports. It plays a vital role in society by promoting physical and mental health, reducing the risk of disease, and improving overall well-being across all age groups. It also fosters social connection, teamwork, inclusion, and a sense of belonging, helping to strengthen communities and bridge social divides. Indeed, this background not only gives sports federations an opportunity to work with value-based leadership, but it is also an incentive and obligation to work with gender equality, equity, and inclusion. This, of course, requires creating environments where all people, regardless of background, ability, or identity, feel welcome and are given the same opportunities to participate. It requires active work to counteract discrimination and abuse by adapting activities, changing norms, and ensuring a safe environment for everyone. And there is much work to do. Yesterday, I happened to be listening to the morning broadcast program of Swedish radio and heard about a new study which revealed that in Sweden, approximately 15% of the population live with a disability. Despite the size of this group, only about 2.5% of the government's sports funding goes to sports for people with disabilities. This unequal distribution limits the potential for meaningful change and reinforces the structural barriers that already exist. I am not aware what the distribution of Finnish government support is, but that would be also interesting to learn more about. Dear friends, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our long-standing partner, Finlandssvenska Idrott. Together with you, and thanks to you, we have had the opportunity to highlight relevant perspectives on diversity, inclusion, accessibility, and equity the last 3 years. We are very grateful for this. I hope you will find time in your busy conference program to enjoy our art park, where you can experience art in harmony with nature, with a constant closeness to the sea. Our two newest pieces of art in the park were inaugurated only 2 days ago in the presence of our Prime Ministers Petteri Orpo and Ulf Kristersson, and they are gifts from the Finnish and Swedish governments on the occasion of Hanaholmen's 50th anniversary. Marjatta Wexström's bronze sculpture Song of the Earth communicates the cultural activities of Hanaholmen like a landmark at the entrance to the island. Located along the coastal path, you will discover the creation of Olof Marsha, a Swedish artist of Sami origin. His bronze sculpture, Tracker of Light, depicts a floral being on skis, eyes fixed on the horizon and directed towards the future. Once again, thank you for letting us be a part of this important event. I wish us all an inspiring day. Let's be better. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your opening words, Victor. I actually think that a long-standing cooperation between Finland and Sweden is still ongoing, despite some hockey results. It's a great show of friendship and respect.
Yes.
Next, we will learn about the Vi vill också delta project, which forms the foundation of today's seminar. The project aims to increase physical activity for people with disabilities and/or illnesses. Two people have been working hard on this project, and that is Lotta Nylund and Ida Laitila. For Lotta and Ida, it is important that the target group, people with disabilities and long-time illnesses, get their voices heard, and that's why they're not on stage today, but have trusted us to be here. But thank you, Lotta. Thank you, Ida.
Yes, you've done a great job. During the project, Lotta and Ida made a second season of the podcast, Finnish-Swedish podcast, Vi vill också, together with parathletes and experts such as me. I love it that they called me an expert, but let's not stop on that point. To make the podcast more accessible, you're also able to read each episode online.
Yes, and during the project, there were 5 courses for sports trainers and other volunteers on neurodiversity such as ADHD, ADD, Tourette syndrome, and autism. The courses were held by experts Maria Sundholm Lindberg and Mikaela Albeck.
During the project, Lotta and Ida also supported Åland Islands, which is a big and beautiful archipelago between Finland and Sweden, now I have to read my notes because I don't remember this. In developing sport opportunities to people with disabilities and/or illnesses.
Yes.
We'll hear more about this cooperation later on today.
And this September, the project arranged together with the Finnish Paralympic Committee a family sports day for children with disabilities and illnesses. During the day, the children had the opportunity to try activities with 8 different sports clubs and take part in a free and accessible Arne Alligator concert.
That's a part of all Finland's with childhood, so that's great. Next, we'll start off the day with Kaisa Kiri, who works as a project coordinator, and she'll tell us more about the Finnish Paralympic Committee's PAPAI program. Kaisa, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, and hello everyone. My name is Kaisa Kiri from the Paralympic Committee, and well, I have to say, this is quite exciting to start the whole program, and let's see how this works. Okay, wonderful. I get the slides going. Just to summarize, first picture here is the picture of the Finnish Paralympic Committee strategy. Here's our vision: open and equal, sports-loving and physically active Finland. And our slogan goes, success looks like you. I'm not going to go deeper into the strategic level. I'm going to go straight to the presentation, and the slogan or the title of this whole presentation, Everyone Deserves to Play. And I got 3 key elements that I'm trying to present here. First of all, I'm going to explain what is PAPAI program and where we're standing right now. And then we'll look also to the future a little bit. What's going to happen next in the PAPAI program. And before I go to the program, I would like to share a feedback that I got from this family, because I think it really summarizes the whole idea. Everyone deserves to play, and the PAPAI program, what we're talking about. I mean, thank you. I was so touched by the other families shown at the videos, and even more when I saw my child there, all excited and filled with joy. For the first time during these 11 years, I felt that in here, my child is accepted just the way he is, that we are not told that your child is too disabled or incompetent to be part of this group. Thank you. We were all so grateful, and everything clicked so well right away between the child and the PAPAI. This really warms my heart even today, reading it out loud to you. But this is what we're talking about in the PAPAI program. The goal is to find a suitable sports hobby with the PAPAI. Here I have some of the pictures as well taken by the PAPAIs. There's a girl with 2 PAPAIs actually in the picture. They're smiling in the forest background. And then there's some floorball and bowling hobby tryouts on the picture shown here. When I talk about PAPAI, in Finnish we call it Valtti-ohjelma. And the word PAPAI really comes from the words personal adapted physical activity instructor. So you know now what I'm talking about when I use the term PAPAI. And the program is directed first and foremost for the children and youth with disabilities, long-term illness, or special needs that they are they're hampering finding the suitable sports hobby for themselves. And the whole idea of the program is that PAPAI will help to find the opportunities nearby and support and go really next by you. Like here in the picture, there's a PAPAI holding the girl's hands. Maybe just like that, really holding by your hand and going by you when you go and try different hobbies for the first time. It can be really, really exciting and trying something for the first time. So the whole idea is that PAPAI is a safe adult who will guide you on this journey, finding a suitable sports hobby. I'm going to give you a little bit of numbers to describe the value and what's the situation right now in the program. We have been doing the program for 10 years now, actually. Started in 2016, and some of the numbers here show you how big the program is right now. So in Finland, we have approximately 16 regions or areas that we coordinate the program. And of course, I cannot do this by myself. I coordinate it nationally, but I have 16 coordinators working with me who help on these regions to coordinate the program. And in addition, there are approximately 20 educational institutes that we work together with, where the PAPAIs mostly come from. We have approximately 160 to 220 applications yearly from the families. And PAPAIs, we have even more, around 200 and 280 each year. Most of them, as I said, are students. They come from the fields of sports, leisure and recreation, and physiotherapy, pedagogics, or welfare branch. But of course, we also have some volunteers yearly. And then we have so-called like peer-to-peer, like people with disabilities working as a PAPAI to a child with a disability. So we got this also last year and this year, more and more coming. So I'm really happy about this. We have great results, and at this time, actually, they are just finishing out this fall's hobby tryouts, and we will hear more about it soon. Also get some stories and blogs on their way. And shortly about the numbers of the participants. We've had 1,569 participants in the program. Age average is around 11 or 12, and most of them are still boys. These are average numbers of this program around the years 2016 and 2024, between these. And when it comes to PAPAIs, the number is way more. We've had 2,383 PAPAIs in the program. And when it comes to the feedback, I wanted to point out that 85% of the PAPAIs, they recommend the program to others as well. This has been a great result, that they think this is really great opportunity, and the whole task and act as a PAPAI, they found it really like empowering and a good opportunity. Before I go to the results, I know that you might be interested to hear more. Does this really work, this program and the idea of it? I want to summarize shortly what is the main achievement. What are we trying to overcome with the program? And that is the gap between demand and supply. And just to open it a little bit, there are thoughts in the sports clubs that they might be thinking, do we have enough expertise in our sports clubs? Or do we have enough instructor resources? Do we have enough the knowledge? And does the children with disabilities want to participate in organized sports, in our sports? I mean, these are fair questions. And at the same time, the families and the children with disabilities, they are thinking, do we have, what kind of sports will fit me? And where can I actually find this suitable place and hobby to participate? How do I get there? Will I be good enough? And these as well are really the questions that they have in their mind. And we try to figure these out through the program and with the help of PAPAI. And of course, as I mentioned, all the other participants in the program, not only the PAPAIs, but they have a huge role in this. And now I'm going to go to the results. Did we find a hobby? Did we increase the physical activity level? Here are some of the feedback together that the families has responded. There are almost 1,000 answers now. And to summarize it, 46% of them say that they found a hobby straight through the program. So with the 4 hobby tryouts, they found their suitable hobby. But 44% says that they got ideas or they found a possible hobby. And this is really common as well. When we get this feedback a year after this program, we hear a lot that it might take some time, but actually the effect on this program was really huge for these families that took part of the program. Some of them took a little bit longer to find their suitable hobby than others. But when it comes to the physical activity level, this is also a great result. 48% said that the physical activity level increased, and 76% recommends the program to others. And we are really pleased with these results, and I think the numbers really speak to themselves that the program really works. But of course, we want to be better, and we want to get better results, find more hobbies, increase the level of physical activity. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that, just a bit, what's coming next. But to summarize, I wanted to point out some elements of success. Okay, here we go. Now you can see it on the screen. I cannot point out this enough. Number one, I would say, what is really, really, really important is the appreciation of the child's opinion and voice. It's not always that simple, and we have to take measures to really focus on this and get the voices heard so that the child can have their opinion really out there. And for the whole program, I think why does it work so well is because it's individualized support and it encourages of trying out different physical activity, hobbies, and new things. As we know, one size does not fit all, and we're all different, and we need that individualized way of approaching things. And I would say these are the main elements of this success of the whole program. And these are the things that we really focus on even now, when the program has been going on for 10 years now. I have had the privilege also to walk through the program as working as a PAPAI and working as a coordinator in one region, and now coordinating the whole program nationally. And I've seen a lot during these 5-6 years that I've been working with the program. But now I can say that we have really found out the key elements, what works, and what we want to make even better and improve. And that's when we get to the part of the future, as I promised to mention earlier, where we're heading right now. And on this slide, I have summarized what's coming and what is happening right now. We have a 3-year project, a crew project, together with Jyväskylä University of Applied Sciences and Sport Institute of 3 campuses. And with this crew project, the project is called Inclusive Physical Activity Counseling for Families, and the short name of it is Valtti Plus. So the whole idea is that the common development environment is the PAPAI program. And through this, we will be providing more tools and support to students and also professionals that are providing counseling, physical activity counseling for families and children with disabilities, so that they have more tools to actually, firstly, reach them to this service, but also then give them tools to better include and get their voices in the process. So we're talking about really practical tools for getting their voice heard and get their ideas and experiences. How do they want to help them to be more physically active and also find the hobbies? So the Finnish Paralympic Committee is focusing on providing the help for the PAPAIs, and we create tools for them and educational material as well. And then the Sports Institute of 3 campuses, they help the students who are the future professionals, help to include everyone and see the physical activity counseling through these lenses of helping people and children and families with disabilities. And the third part, Jyväskylä University of Applied Science, they are really focusing on the family physical activity counseling that is really nationally right now. Huge different pilots are going on right now, and we are developing it right now. So this is a great timing for us, and I'm really happy about the fact that there's 3 of us in the project as a partners to get even more effective results on this matter. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm really happy about the fact that we will be able to improve the PAPAI program, because we know it works. We got great results. But with this project, we'll be able to provide more support to the PAPAIs, so they have the tools to help the children and families. And even more, I'm still gonna come to the part, children's voice. How can we support that? And the PAPAIs, they really need tools for that. Sometimes it's really hard. There are so many elements and people around the child as well. How can we help them to find just the right sports and physical activity for them? But this is just a short summary of this project. As I mentioned, it's 3 years. We've been working on it for approximately a year now. And so there's still 2 more years to go. And the work is still in process. But I have to say that in 2 years, you'll be getting really opportunity to work with the tools that we provide through this program in Finnish, Swedish, and also in English. So practical tools, even around physical activity counseling, to all this aspect. So it's coming. Right now, this is just a short summary and what we're working on. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it to this. There's more coming on this project. I'm not quite sure about the time, but I'm gonna finish up right now. And thank you so much for your attention. I'm more than happy to discuss with the PAPAI around the PAPAI program or our project that we're working right now. So please come and chat with me during the breaks or afterwards. Here are also my contacts to get in touch later on as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaisa. What a fantastic program. With even greater results, we do know definitely physical activity or physical wellness is a part of moving, but psychological aspect is often overlooked, and I think this is a fantastic program. Kaisa will be here, and we'll take questions later on from Kaisa. The Åland Sports Federation, they took a chance and tried the PAPAI program with a twist. Now, we all know that the Åland Islands are always sunny, and it's always great weather there. So they do have an advantage compared to us here in the mainland. But next, we welcome up Lena, who works as a sports consultant at the Åland Sports Federation. Please, Lena, the stage is yours.
Like he said, it's always sunny, so that's because the color of my face. No, I have been on a journey, came home from Cape Verde yesterday, so I have been cheating a little bit. I'm going to talk about idrottskompis, or in English, sports buddy. That's, we can't talk about Valti on Åland, because then nobody knows what are you talking about. We can't take part. So we renamed it to idrottskompis, and in English, sports buddy. I have worked with Lotta Nylund, especially Lotta Nylund, and also Ida with this project. I have got help, or we have got help from them, starting up this project. And like Kaisa said, you can't, one size doesn't fit all, so we had to change a little bit. So we started in 2024 with support from Finlandssvensk Idrott. And before I talked about this project, I will it's not always true, but a lot of sun on Åland. We have about 30,000 inhabitants, so we are quite small, and that means it's quite easy to work on the island. We have a lot of contacts. It's easy to reach people. It's an autonomous region of Finland, and I think for us it's easy to take good parts from both Finland and Sweden, and I think that's good for us. And for the Åland Sport Federation, we have, I would like to say, a strong sport club culture. We have 49, no, it's not 49, it's 69 sport clubs. So there's a number wrong in the presentation. And we have 4 sport federations. In 60 different sports. So we are quite good or quite big in sports. We have about 50,000 memberships. It says members there, but they are not individuals. Some of them are members in 2 or 3 clubs, but we have 15,000 memberships in our sport clubs. We have a close contact to the mainland and mainland Finland and to Sweden. And something about the close contact, the language. It's easy to have contact and collaborate to Sweden because we are Swedish speaking. And it's closer to travel to Sweden, so it's a little bit cheaper, it's easier to travel to Sweden. So that's why we have quite a lot of cooperation with the Swedish sports as well. And the cooperation with the mainland is with Finlands Svensk Idrott and also in competition, because when we would like to compete in national level, then we have to compete in Finland. So I think it's a good way to have both parts. About the project, what can we say about the target group? Before this project, I would like to say we have not so much we have limited availability of adapted sports on Åland. When we are not that many, it's hard to get a whole team with people with disabilities. So it can be hard to do different sports. They need to come into the ordinary sport clubs. Though we have the utvecklingstörda as väl on Åland, they work with people with intellectual disabilities, and then they have been working in the sports area for many years. So they are quite good. They have been doing bowling, they have been doing football, they have been doing floorball and other sport things. But otherwise, for the other people with disabilities, we have limited availability. So with this project, we would like to meet all people with disabilities. But the main focus are, like in PAPAI, the kids and youths in age of 6 till 23. And what we noticed in this project is that the kids, youth, the people with disabilities needed guidance to, like a little bit like Kaisa said before, do I fit in here? Is there any sport for me? What can I do? Where do I find it? So all these things, the people that hasn't been in the club need the guidance, as well as other people that doesn't have been in any clubs. So, and what we noticed is that these people needs support as well. So how was PAPAI adapted to Åland? We started, we got the ideas from Finlandssvensk Idrott. They told us about the cooperation with the Arcada students. And we on Åland Sport Federation has been working with Ålands Yrkesgymnasium before in other projects. So we take the contact to Ålands Yrkesgymnasium, asked, do you have any students that could be a part of this project? And we were lucky. They have a class group. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it later. So the cooperation with school was really good for us. And then we start to recruit participants. And like I said, we are a small area, not so many people. So I said it's easy to cooperate, but it wasn't that easy to find these athletes, the people taking part in the program. I think we need much more time to reach them, so they will know what is this idrottskompis or this sports buddy. So I think that's something we need to do a little bit more. When we had the cooperation and we had recruited the participants, we had, our goal was 6 participants. We didn't want to have that many participants in the beginning because we thought easier to start in a small way with not so many people, and then we can make it bigger. It's better to make a small project and try to succeed, try to find out how to do it. And after that, you can be bigger and do other things. So we have 6 applications. It was 5 youths, children and youths, and it was 1 adult. So when we had them, we had for the group, we had this startup meeting with activities, and the sport buddies and the athletes came together. We said to them that they had at least 4 sports visits. They could choose between the sports they wanted, but at least 4 sports visits. And most of them did 6, 7 sports visits in different clubs. Some of them was in one club, but most of them tried at least 2 sport clubs. And then we had this final gathering in the program in the first project time. We have a final gathering with activities, shared experience, had an evaluation. So that was a little bit about how we adapted. The students, like I said, we worked with Ålands Yrkesgymnasium and we worked with practical nurses specialized in disabilities. So we were quite lucky when we started this. They said yes immediately because they thought this idrottskompis or sports buddy could be a good way for them to practice, to be out doing practical things with people that they are educated to be better to help. We had, and I say we, then Lotta was coming to Åland. She liked to come visit us on Åland. So she came there and had the introduction to the role and to the responsibilities for these sport buddies. Talked a little bit about, okay, what are you going to meet? How can you do it? What's important? And all that things. So we meted up the students. And after that, we matched them. So these 6 athletes that we had in the program got 2 or 3 sport buddies each. So that was also a thing that Kaisa mentioned, that some of them not only had 1 sport buddy. And we think that this was a good thing as well, because they are students. They have to do schoolwork. Some of the students maybe need to work. to do the studies, and sometimes maybe you're sick. So we thought to give these athletes more than one buddy helped them to give them the regularity of sports. Otherwise, we was a little bit scared that if you got only one sport buddy, if he or she was sick, we thought, okay, then maybe it could be 2 weeks where they don't have any sports. And then it's not easy to become a part of the sport club, become a part of the sport. So we thought a little bit about that, and I think that was a good idea, because then they could go to more than four practice tryouts, and the students could help each other. If something was maybe a little bit difficult or something, they could help each other. So I think we got more than one bonus on having more than one sport buddy to each athlete. And what about the role of the sport club? We, small society, close contacts, easy to collaborate. Then we, as a sport federation, took contact with the sport clubs. And we told them a little bit about what's the meaning of a sport buddy, what's the meaning of this project, what are we expecting, could they deliver, could they be a part of this project? And 15 out of 69 sport clubs offered placements. And you can think, okay, 15, 69, or that, not so much. But we thought, when we only had six athletes, participants, we thought that 15 sport clubs was really good. And for some of them, it was easier to say yes, because they have some experience. They have already a small system to meet or to take care of the people with some disabilities. They feel more experienced, feel more secure. So for some, it was, yes, of course we do it. You can come tomorrow, it's no problem. For others, it was a little bit more, oh, like Kaisa said again, do we manage? How can we do it? Is it possible? We have voluntary coach. How will this work? So we got both sides of this. But I think the clubs that said that they could take part in this project, they did a really, really good job. Experienced or unexperienced, they did a really good job. And I think we did it together. So, results. The strong collaboration with clubs. It was easy for me, as working in the area, contacting the clubs. And I can give you an example. We had a bowling course was going to start, and we had one of the participants would like to try bowling. She was sitting in a wheelchair, and I called the coach for this for the bowling club, who's going to start the course, and I said, is it possible for us to take part? I have a person sitting in a wheelchair, and she would like to try bowling. And the coach says, no, I don't think that's possible. I think that's hard. I don't know anything about people sitting in a wheelchair. I don't know if I can do this. And I said, I don't think it's going to be a problem. I think you can manage. I think we can manage together. I can come with you. It's no problem. So can we please come and try? And the first thing, when we came there, the coach came to the person, the athlete, and said, I know a lot about bowling, but I don't know anything about bowling in a wheelchair. But we will try. We try to make it good. And the person sitting in the wheelchair, she says that the treatment, that the good service from the coach was a really, really good beginning. Okay, and she said to him, it's no problem. I think we can manage. We will work this out together. During the course, when we came out on the venue, the coach getting so interested in helping this person to bowl. And he said several times during this course, he said, I think this is interesting. I know a lot about bowling, but now I have to think. I have to start to think. And that was a good experience for the coach. And that's a really, really good memory for me, and I think a really good memory for you to take home, to convince we can try, we can do our best, and that's good enough. For some people, maybe it's not work, but for most, it can work, and we can find out a way together. We don't have to be the expert from the first time. The other things about the results, I think, we had a stable group of sport buddies. We have a lot of sport buddies, 2 or 3 to each athletes, and I think that was a good thing. And for us, 5 of 6 are regularly active after 1 year. So that's a good percent. It's not a big amount of people, but it's a good percent, and it's a good thing for us, I think. And some of them continued with the sport buddy. We didn't have a sport buddy for only this 5 or 6 times. We managed to give them a sport buddy even after, if they needed. And some of them are totally independent in the sport. So I think that's a good thing as well. So maybe, like Kaisa said, one size doesn't fit all. Some persons need more help than only these 4 or 5 times. And I think that's a good thing to take with you. So, time's running, and it has been more than a year. So during 2025, we got foundation from Stiftelsen Brita Maria Renlunds Minne, and we could support sport buddies with some small amount of money. And we restarted in January. The goal was to reach 15 the first half of the year and 15 people the second half. We haven't reached that goal yet. Process takes time. So if we have to wait maybe 2 years to get these 30 people, or what time it takes, I think we need to continue. We have a rolling start. The first time we had a group start with all, but now we had this rolling start due to sporadic applications. And we have had 9 participants during 2025, so it's really a small amount of people. And 7 of them were new athletes, and then you can count 2 of them in the first project period has continued in the project. And we have a new group of sport buddies. We cooperated with Åland United, the football team, elite team, and I think that was a good idea as well, because they train during early afternoon, and so they could take these children youth to a sport club during late afternoon and like that. So that's a good cooperation. And this personal matching due to small safe environment is really good as well. Okay, I think my time is almost ended, but I have 2 more things. Future plans. We are continuing as a project during 2026 with a goal to have long-term sustainable inclusion model for this. We going to strengthen the cooperation with clubs, with schools, with healthcare system and others to improve the athlete recruitment. And we know that we have to educate and improve sport clubs and coaches and ourselves as a sport organization. So, what's my tip for you? Don't dare to try. Small step matters. Even though you help one person or two persons, it make a big difference. It takes time. So you need to think about, okay, I can't do it in 1 year. It maybe take 2 years, it maybe take 5 years, but it will work. In the first time, we had the athletes could try as many sports they wanted, but we noticed that we need to offer them 3 or 4 sessions per sport, because otherwise they don't know if they like it or not. They need more time than one, because the first time maybe they just are there watching, just taking a small step into the court or something. So they need more time. And I think if you start with the sport buddy, if you start with this PAPAI program, it will be a big help, both for the clubs, for the coaches, and for the athletes. So talk to the clubs, talk to the coaches, that this will be a good help. So that's from me. Thank you for listening.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lena, and all on Islands.
Thank you very much. I think actually listening to both Kaisa and Lena, I think there's a distinction we need to do. We need to make a distinction between hard, possible, and then impossible. Because even though it's hard, it doesn't mean it's impossible. You said you had an anecdote.
Yeah, I came to my mind this when Lena, you told about this bowling coach who had that he has to think. I think that was a very great thing to do, because I realized that I've okay, now I'm not maybe the right person to speak here, because I've had the same coach for many years, and she's sitting here in the crowd today. But and it's actually fun when I haven't been coached by her. Every time I've been at the pool, and when we had new coaches, I realized that they really had to think again and like throw around the whole thing in their mind, because they never coached a blind athlete. And it's not impossible, it's not hard, you just have to speak much more. And that's usually the thing I say. I tell everyone that when you communicate with me, speak more than you usually do, because that makes it easier.
That's speaking more for Finns, an interesting combination.
I know.
Anyway, now if you have questions for Lena and Kaisa, we'd have to take them. Remember, you have a microphone in front of you. Press the button, the light turns red, and then we'll go from there. Yes, please.
Good morning. I have a question.
If you can just point the microphone. Yeah, perfect.
Of course. Yeah.
There we go.
Thank you. I have a question to both of you. The programs, well, thank you for exposing them to us. But the question is, well, from what age are these programs oriented to? It's for youth and kids, but I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I would like to know, like, from what age are these projects and starting from?
Much the same for the both of us. Starting from the age of 6, we have been doing the program 6 to 23. It's the age limit, kind of. Of course, we go up or down a little bit, but most of them, I would say that we start at the age of 6. We've seen that it's a good age to start finding your hobby. What would you say, Lena?
I think so as well, but one thing I think about when you ask this question, I think it could be a good way of having families coming together, because I think in the early age, before 6, before 7, I think it would be better if they will be active with their families, not in a sport club by their own. So I think 6, 7 years old, and before that, of course, be active, because come to a sport environment, but with your family, I think.
Any other questions within the room? Yes.
Sorry, yeah, and I had another question then. How are you planning to promote, or how is the project to promote and advertise and get it forward? Because I have never seen like this kind of projects ever been told or spoken to in kindergarten, and we cannot forget that sports start from the age of 2, and I mean physical activity or physical movement, and then how is that part of the plan? Is that something that you could consider? Is that something that it's already thought of? So just curious about it. Yeah.
I can talk from my side because you get me a new idea. So people with disabilities need support and need to know what to do and how to do it. And some of them, not all, of course. And I think maybe we need to talk about it to kindergartens, to preschool classes and things like that. So I think that's one thing for us to think about, to meet them earlier. So that's from my perspective.
Yeah, this is hard to get like a short answer to your good question. We have, of course, we have this school on the move and also the programs in the kindergarten to really get them and support them through the teachers and everyone working around the children. But you were asking how do we reach them or get the information about the program. I have to be honest, it's not easy. We have tried many ways. Like we work together with the schools, the teachers, different professionals that work together with the children and families with disabilities. We try to be innovative and figure out even more and more on like small groups on WhatsApp or Facebook and write on the papers, newspapers, and we try a lot of different things. But I have to say, what Lena said earlier as well, it takes time as well. I'm happy to hear that. Some people have also said that, okay, I got the tip from other family, like, you know, people start talking about that. We have had this program going on for 10 years now, so now we're kind of slowly getting there, but I'm not saying that we're done, like not all people know about the program. We still have work to do.
I think we have one question from the stream. Yes, let's take a look at the, perfect. Okay, we actually have 3, which is good, but actually not, because we only have 2 minutes left. So, how do you recruit PAPAIs?
Okay, should I
Short
start?
answer, yeah.
Okay, I try to be short. As I mentioned, it's been 10 years, so it takes time also to build a good cooperation, and we have great partners. As I mentioned, we had 20 educational institutes. Most of them we have been working for years, really at the beginning of the whole program. And most of them, they have this program as a part of the mandatory studies. So it is part of the adaptive physical activity course in the school, in the system. Most of them are physiotherapists or sports fields students. So this is actually really part of their studies. And they get to practice really practical level during the studies. This is why we have so high numbers, if you were thinking about the fact that how come you have so many PAPAIs in the program. But in addition, we try to also find new participants, students, volunteers, people with disabilities themselves to participate in the program. But just a short answer, but please come and talk with me. I'm happy to also answer the other questions when we have more time in the sessions between or break.
Yes, thank you, Kaisa and Lena, and thank you for the questions. Now we'll take a break. We'll be back at 10:45.
Thank you.
Yes, Noni. Now, welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. And it really sounded like very many great conversations were just getting started, but we unfortunately have to agree to just pause them for now so we can continue with them during the coffee break. Now we'll have enjoy some panel discussion about parasports, learn about tricks and tips and tricks, and about many usual, parasports in short. The panel will be moderated by Robson, and I don't think I'm going to stand here anymore. Welcome, panelists and Robson.
Thank you, Ronja. Perfect. Back from the break. Very, very good lunch, if I may say so myself. Anyway, we're here to discuss and learn about equal opportunities in sports. And let me introduce you to our 4 panelists of the day. We have Jessica Helta, who is a doctoral researcher in sports science, specializing in parasport and paracoaching, and also a paraswimming coach for the past 10 years.
Yes.
And then we have Lina Karlsson, a former athlete in orienteering and athletics. Lina is deaf and a sign language user. Then we have Corinne Fredriksson, an athlete and coach living with ADHD and advocate for mental health awareness. And then we have Aaron Pajunen. Aaron plays power chair football at Helsinki Outsiders. And Aaron, you suffer from an unknown muscular disease. Perfect. Okay. Now, among the respondents in the Liikuttaako report 2023, there are still many individuals with disabilities whose desire for physical activity is not adequately fulfilled. 50% of children and young people with disabilities in Finland lack suitable groups, or that's reported. And that is why we're here today, to learn about how these 4 people and their experience in sports. Let's start with a panel or question to the entire panel. What got you interested in sports and how did you find your sport? And let's, for ease sake, let's start with Lina and then let's go to the left. Yeah.
Okay, so I started, how I got interested of sports was actually because of my family, because the whole of my family are very active in the different kind of athlete activities, and so it came like a heritage for me. I was 6 years old when I started to do different training as an athlete, and I continued to do that for many years. I've done athletic and skiing and some orienteering as well. I started in Vasa in VIS, Vasa Idrottssällskap, and I've been in Voro Upper Secondary School, which is a sports education where I graduated as an 18-year-old. I've been competing in different levels in Finland with hearing and with other deaf people, and also abroad, so international competing as well. Nowadays, I'm just a recreational athlete, but I have been an elite athlete earlier.
Okay, thank you very much. Aaron, please.
I have always been interested in sports since I was this little, and I found my sport power chair floorball thanks to my physiotherapist who recommended it for me. And then later I went to an event in Messukeskus called Apuväline Messut, and there I tried different sports, and one of them was this, and I fell in love with the sport.
Nice.
Well, I have a background in swimming, so I found paraswimming kind of accidentally when I was I think I was 19, studying physiotherapy, and my old club called me and asked if I wanted a new challenge with paraswimmers. I had absolutely no clue what parasports or paraswimming was back then, but I was 19, wanted something to do, so I took it up, and I'm doing it 10 years later. I love it.
Nice. And Corinne.
I have been doing my sports since I was a kid, so I don't remember how I got into it. But I started coaching when I was 13, and then I saw on Facebook that my club needed someone to coach a group, and I said I wanted to, and they said, "Yeah, go ahead. Here you go."
Here are the keys to the car.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Actually, Corinne, let's start with you and go backwards then. Can you share a defining moment when you truly felt that sport was, or actually we can go the negative side too, wasn't inclusive?
Well, I'm so lucky that I haven't had so much bad experience. Because I had like whole my life, I only had one coach, and she was amazing. But then she decided to quit, and I joined another group with another coach, and then well, it went more bad. I remember one time I was struggling real bad with my mental health, and I had some scars on my arm. And one day after practice, we were getting ready to go home. My coach pointed to me, said very loudly in front of everyone, Corinne, what have you done to your arms? And also, when I swim, I don't have my glasses on, so I don't see the board very well when they write what we are going to do. So I asked him, hey, what does it say? And he said he can't focus on me so much, so he can't read it to me every time. And I just needed to learn how to see.
That is a skill you do adapt to and learn about. Yes. Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
An interesting. Is he a doctor? I'm just wondering because if he has that ability, then you might want to sell it to a pharma company or something. Okay. So you've gone from both a very positive and then to a negative environment.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Jessica, how about you?
Well, I'm thinking about my own swimmers and nationals that we have. We have some coming up in the next few weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But thinking about Ronja is a good example. She's my swimmer and she's blind, so we need to make adjustments for like cool down or warm up lanes. And it's super hard for the people working there, or it seems to be a struggle to build working environments for blind athletes, for example. But now I can see that the younger generation working at the pools or at competitions, they find it, they don't think about it as much. They see inclusivity as a thing that should exist. So they try to make it work better now. So
So
I
it's just
think
a
it's gone
natural
for
part
the
of-
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on.
I remember a few years ago, one time in school, we had a floorball tournament, and I wasn't included, and it didn't feel so good because the teachers said that everyone should be able to play this as a school tournament. It's not so big of a deal if you win or lose, but still I was on the beside watching them play and not being able to play myself.
So there's a difference between words and actions.
Yes.
Okay. Lena.
Well, growing up, I could say like I didn't know so much about deaf sports at all. Actually, I was living almost all my life with other hearing persons, but I've been a lucky girl. I have a twin sister, so I was never alone. And our mother was doing our coaching also, and she has taught us so much. And foremost, there was such a good and positive attitude in all the clubs that I was attending. So I have had a safe space. And I think it's really good to... I'm really happy to have experienced both the hearing and the deaf sports world, because they are different. They are very different from each other. And I think that deaf athletes, it's very different. It's very important to arrange sport events for deaf athletes, because then they get to sport on the same with same equal rights and the same equal situation, and they will have shared the same identity, and it's a positive atmosphere overall. But it's also good to have the experience from the hearing world. It's important to use sign language. It was really nice in my clubs when I was a child that my peers learned to sign also, so I could use my mother tongue there. So I would say that the positive attitude has been the best thing. Of course, it's not always easy to use my language, as it is a very small minority language, so I can't get by using my own language in all places, but at least in some.
Okay, thank you. Let's jump to you, Jessica. You've been coaching paraswimming for 10 years now.
Yes.
That's a decade.
Yeah.
Just so you know. Could you tell us what paraswimming is and how you adapted the training to fit it?
Well, paraswimming in Finland, we have 14 different classes you can compete in, and the swimmers compete with points. So you get a time, and it's compared to the world record in your class. So swimmers compete with the points you get, so they can compete with each other, because there's not a lot of paraswimmers in Finland.
How many are there?
That's a good question, but
Okay, we'll
not
take that later.
many. Yeah, we can take it later. Yeah. But in paraswimming, you can be intellectually disabled, you have visual disabilities, or physical, and the class is based on that. But in training, we have to adjust a lot of things, of course. The fundamentals are the same as in mainstream swimming, of course. Thinking about, well, for example, Ronja, blind swimmer, we have to think about where I place her in the pool. I can't put her with 5 other swimmers. It doesn't work. And just adjusting the training, thinking about, I always have a theme when I come to the pool, but I might have 3 or 4 sets I'm thinking about, but none of them might work for the day. So we
depending on what? Is it depending on the mood of the athlete?
That too.
Or is it how the athlete's recovered or not? Or is it depending on outside factors like the pool or who's in the pool?
All of those.
All of the above, okay.
Yeah, so it depends on the day. We have a lot of discussions with my swimmers before practice begins. What are we gonna do today? What feels good today? What are we able to do today? So we adjust the sets, adjust the times, we adjust everything that's needed, everything goes to adjust.
Ronja mentioned earlier that she said that if it's a coach she hasn't worked before, she just tell them to talk more.
Yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah, we talk a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's key to making a safe place for the athlete, that they are able to ask questions and they get to challenge me too if I say something that doesn't work or come up with something it's a place where you can tell me that this doesn't work or I think this is better.
Any examples of this doesn't work?
Probably a lot.
Okay.
We can discuss those later too.
Okay. Oh, we'll put that. Okay. Yeah. But then let's switch it actually from doesn't work to what's been the most powerful lessons from your athletes.
Probably that making small adjustments and getting, if you think about competitions, getting even a little bit of a better time. You celebrate small successes in paraswimming. It's awesome. And communication. That's the most important lesson I've learned, how important it is to communicate with the swimmers and everyone around, making it a safe space for everyone.
What does a safe space mean, if you can, in a pool setting?
Well, you can think about the safety aspects of the pool,
Okay.
but thinking about like the collaboration with coaches and swimmers, I try to make an environment where they trust me, I trust the swimmer, there's respect on both ends, so we can discuss things.
Okay. Yeah. Now, according to you, what are the biggest challenges within paraswimming?
I'd say the biggest one is limited resources. We don't get enough lane time, enough practice time. I was thinking about it one day. No para swimming coaches can work with this full time in Finland. That's just not possible because of funding and resources. So we all have a day job. So we don't we're not able to give as much time to the athletes as we would like to. I think that's the biggest part. And probably that there's no guidelines when you start coaching para swimmers or para sports in general. You have no idea where to start. No one tells you what to do. You just have to figure it out by yourself.
You get thrown into that, and this is a pun intended, into the deep end.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, very funny, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's a learning curve.
but it's a learning curve.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out along the way.
Yeah, and you have to be willing to learn and learn new stuff.
Is there any kind of science or scientific research that you want to highlight around paraswimming then?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more coming, so that's a nice switch that people actually want to research para athletes and para sports in general. Thinking specifically for swimming, more research within biomechanics is being done about stroke rates and how it affects energy levels with different disabilities, for example. And thinking about recovery, that's a big thing in sports right now. But you can't really compare a para athlete to a mainstream athlete in that sense, because there's the disability behind it and it brings its own twist to recovery processes. And right now I'm doing my own PhD with Parasports, and I'm gonna be researching how identity changes, and I think it's gonna go on for about a few years. I'm gonna gather data and see how identity evolves and changes due to injuries or competing at Paralympics or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it might be your own research that you want to highlight in a few years.
Yeah, I hope
Yeah,
so.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Switch over to Lina. According to recent data, there are approximately 100 to 300 users of Finnish Swedish Sign Language in Finland. Did you know that Finland, Swedish, and Finnish Sign Language is different? I actually didn't know that. So it's a different sign language. There's also an international sign language which you use in global context. Now, Lina, how can sports clubs better support deaf or hard of hearing athletes?
Well, first of all, there are under 300, maybe 250, first of all, who are using Finnish Swedish Sign Language in Finland. Deaf people are around 100, and then our hearing persons are the other ones. Athletes, about 5 to 10 who are using this language, and amongst them you have both elites and recreational athletes. And to answer your question about how to support, so of course how you approach a person and what kind of communication you use. It depends on the person who you are approaching. Is the person using sign language or speech or both? So first you need to figure out the communication. And also it's good to know more about deaf culture and deaf people and all of that, not just for the athlete, but for the whole club and for the coach and for everybody. You can if you want to know more, you can always reach out to SKUL, the Finnish Deaf Sports Association, and there you can get like a brochure or something, a pamphlet about how to make things better for deaf and hearing impaired athletes here in Finland. So approaching is the main thing, I would say, and also the attitude, and trying to have a positive attitude and thinking like that there are a lot of possibilities. Everybody is an individual, everybody has their own needs. You can't say that every deaf or hearing impaired person are the same. So you need to listen to this person and take action on what is needed.
Sounds like a lot of the common with, even if you don't have a disability, is listening to your athlete, which does seem to be hard for a lot of people. It doesn't matter if they have a disability or not. What advice would you give a young deaf or para athlete with dreams of competing?
I don't know, believe in yourself, probably. you can do it. It's, you know, everybody has a possibility to reach for the stars and make it happen. You can look for support in different ways. And if you are deaf or hearing impaired, school is a very good association to reach out to and get support from. But believe in yourself and be brave and have patience.
Small goals like Aron talked about earlier. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Yes.
Corinne, under the Viva Loxa project, we've been working to get more information to the sport clubs about neurodiversity, and about 8 to 10% of the population in the world have ADHD. How are your training sessions adapted so that you have energy to participate and can perform at your best?
Well, I listen to myself very much. How much energy do I have today? And don't plan ahead very much. And well, when I come to the pool, I think, well, today we're gonna do this stroke or whatever. Men, I don't plan about the how much or how long the distance or how tough it will be, and that's on my own training. But when I'm a coach, I listen to the kids. I see, okay, today they have had a very tough day at school, or they are very tired. Okay, we will take it a bit chill today, or okay, today we will go all out. We will. They will be so. Oh well, they will be a bit tired tomorrow, or yeah. I listen to myself and my body and my energy levels, and I also listen to my kids and see what they want to do. And one of my groups, they aren't competing or anything. Well, they are there for just having something to do during the day, and they are a bit chatty. They talk very much, and they know real well how to get me talking, so we don't do very much. So that's also something. They like to talk. I like to talk sometimes, and sometimes we just have talking sessions because sometimes that is needed. Not doing so much, just talking.
So sometimes it's not about doing, it's actually just about listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Now, with your own experiences, do you find that as a neurodivergent person, that influences how you coach others?
Yes.
And how like, do you have any examples? How would that work?
I think I see the kids more. I also know with the like smaller groups, like the kids, I have seen other coaches like, no, you have to stand still, you have to listen, you can't be spinning around. But for me, it's a different and like just fidgeting, and that's allowed for me. A bit. If you just as you listen and do what you're supposed to do, and don't like disturb any the other kids, you're allowed to spin around and move if that's what keep you happy. It's important to be happy in your sport. If you just get yelled at by your coach all the time, you will lose the love quite easily.
That is definitely a way to make kids very uninterested in what's going to
Yeah.
happen next. That is, yeah, it's I think they call it the Soviet style, where you would actually just bark at the kids and then just make them do stuff. And yeah, people actually don't. There's actually an interesting, if you read Andre Agassi's book, he talked about kind of that. Anyway, yeah. So you can pick up on cues easier.
Yeah.
Kind of you see automatically, like, okay, so for you, for example, it's enough that they come in through the door,
Yeah.
and you go, oh, okay, this is a different kind of day.
Yeah.
And does it happen often where you just switch on the fly?
Yeah, it does. I as I said, I don't plan my training just so I can see the kids and how they are, and I plan there on the spot. So I adapt more. And I also have a lot of parents who come and well, some parents are, well, I would say like parents are my biggest um how to say, the hardest part.
Arch rivals,
Yeah.
your nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, the root of all evil. Oh, sorry. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of, oh yeah, no, my kid has to stay. Oh, some people, parents are, my kid has to stand still. No, isn't allowed to spin around when you're talking. But some parents are also like, you can't say no to their kids. Because, well, if a kid is really high energy and, well, if he's disturbing others and doing stuff he isn't, well, on a bad level. Remember, I had one kid who he was hitting other kids and biting. And then, I have to step in and like, no, no, you aren't, no, say no. But parents were, no, you can't say no to my sweet child. He has ADHD, no.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. So as long as it's not harming the rest of the group,
Yeah.
then you're fine.
Yeah.
And we can all definitely agree that biting and hitting would be crossing a line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Aron, you play power chair floorball. Could you explain what that is and how you play it?
Mm, it's basically a floorball with electric wheelchairs. You drive with one hand, you drive the electric wheelchair around, and with the other hand you hold the stick and play. And but it's also adapted to persons who has less strength in their hands, so they can also play. And then they have a T stick, stick formed like a T in front of their chair, and they drive around and can control the ball with the stick.
Okay. And is it played in, obviously, in periods? You have, how is it divided into, how long is a game?
It depends on the tournament, but I don't know, I never watch how much time there's left. But
Oh, okay. That means you enjoy it. Um, now, how has playing sports impacted your confidence in everyday life?
Sports has always been a big part of my life and important for me. And every time when I do more sports, then also I get more strength and movement in my body, and it makes me happy when I move around.
That's, yeah. 20,000 people have muscular disease in Finland, and according to the Finnish Neuromuscular Disorders Association, what has your experience been with physical education at school?
For me, it has been important that we talk about how we are going to do it, and because I have so many other things in my life, like physiotherapy, sometimes it has been better to rest while they have gym class in school, so that I have the energy throughout the day. But it's also important that if I want to be a part of it, then I think I definitely should. And if you don't think about the floorball tournament in school, then it has been good. Well, yeah.
Okay. And if you could give one piece of advice to schools in particular about how to include students with the use of assisted devices such as wheelchairs, what would that be?
I talk with the student and come up with a solution, and maybe there's sports that all the other students also need to have a wheelchair, or something that is not always the person in the wheelchair who has to adapt. Sometimes it can be the other students who adapt to the exercise.
Agreed. Let's start with Corinne. A question to all panelists. What are your best tips and tricks of inclusive practices that could easily be adopted by sports clubs?
Listen to the kid. And when you see in your group that you have a kid with ADHD, talk with the kids. What do you need from me? And talk to your parents. What works at home? Just because someone has ADHD, they are all they are well different from each other. All have different needs, and talk with the kids. See what they need. See what you can do for them, and talk to the parents.
So listen,
Yeah,
communication.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd also say communication and probably educating the adults and staff at pools and wherever you are and the club staff so that the adults know about parasports, know how it works, and get to see the para athletes too. It makes it easier for the kids then to come with them or do a sport.
Would it kind of the thing be just start somewhere?
Yeah, exactly.
Just figure it out as long as you go.
Yeah.
Make some mistakes and correct. And
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing, I mean, if you approach it in good spirit.
Well, yeah, open-mindedness is the most important thing.
Yeah. Aaron.
The same thing, communication, and also helping the person push their limits, but also know when the person really don't want. For example, I had for a long time, a few years ago, horse riding therapy, and then one part of that was going up on the horse. But then sometimes it was good, but sometimes I got a little bit hurt in my knees, and that of course made me nervous. But my therapist, she was really cool. She said that when I feel like it, she will help me come again. But she don't want to force me to do it. So communication is key.
Communication is key.
Yes.
Lina.
Well, yes, I actually agree with all of you. Open-mindedness, communication, and if we think about people with hearing impairment, the visual communication, using gestures and other visual aids is also like you have people who use hearing aids that can hear in a silent environment, but then again, if there are a lot of noises, then maybe the hearing is not useful, sort of. Then you have people who sign. So we are very diverse. And then also, yes, using interpreters in situations where the person wants it. So, and also when you are as a coach, when you are showing some kind of training that we are doing today, then it's good to tell everybody first, then show it, and not to try to do everything in the same time. So sort of part everything up.
So do it in a calm manner. And that's actually a good advice for a lot of other things than just sports. But yeah. Lina, we can start and go around with you. What misconceptions about parasports do you think need to be challenged the most urgently? What misconceptions about parasports do you think need to be challenged most urgently?
Well, today, I'd say like I think you have like a really bad attitude towards deaf people in sports and also in the society overall. So I think by having a good attitude and getting more information, then you can solve a lot of things. And when you are in your club, if you get a new member who has some kind of diversity, then it's good to focus, to get information, to figure out what can we adapt so that this will work for everybody, because it's not the person who has the limits, it's more like the situation that we need to change. I don't think there is actually, I mean, everything should be accessibility for all. And a lot of prejudice mindset also is a really bad thing. I mean, if somebody thinks that you can't join or you can't participate, that's not going to be a good thing. Like you can always adapt and figure out different ways how to change and adapt and figure out if visual aids or whatever is needed in the situation. And it's important also to remember that deaf persons can compete with hearing persons also. It's not just for para or deaf Olympics where you can be competing.
Where you mentioned a bad attitude. Where does that stem from? Where does that come from?
I don't know. Is it society? I don't think. I don't know, but lack of knowledge probably. But I think when people get more knowledge, their attitude usually improves.
So it's a question about communication again.
Yes. And also, of course, many people don't know anything about sign language or about the sign language culture or how to use interpreters, or they just feel it's difficult, and it could be a resource economical question also. Yeah, so you just need to be brave and use different visual aids.
Okay. Aaron.
I think that the saying that parasport isn't as much sport as sport without disability, but that's not true. It's as much sport and exercise still. And like in school, there shouldn't be a problem having 20 students playing sports in a wheelchair, because that's as much sport as when they are running.
So you would challenge the definition of sports?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting from what I get to witness a lot, triathlon, swim, bike, run, especially in Ironman. It's same distance for everyone. And then doesn't really matter what devices you use, but everyone is celebrated as the same. So yeah, it's interesting because I don't really, and if you wouldn't have said that, I wouldn't have understood the concept that you actually have to challenge what sport is. But yeah, it's a good, very good point. Jessica.
I'd say the same thing. Like parasports is often viewed as less competitive or less like an elite sport than the mainstream sports. That's, I think, the most urgent thing, because para-athletes are athletes in the same way. They do elite athletics, they perform on a super high level.
So again, the definition of what?
The definition, yeah. What sports is. And I feel like often when you have a disabled person in a club setting, they're seen as maybe just there for a hobby, just to get more physical activity in. They're seen as that they're rehabilitating their injury or whatever it is. They're not seen as athletes most times.
So the training becomes a secondary thing to their disability.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of more like, well, we'll do sports over here and you do what you do.
Well, yeah.
Instead of just including everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. What do you?
I would say we need more knowledge about everything with Parasport and especially about ADHD and sports. Because when with Parasport you like compete with your like own group or to say, and but when you have ADHD you are in the groups with everybody. You don't count as disabled. You count as normal, and you don't see ADHD. And well, there's a lot of knowledge about ADHD and a lot of research, but people need to read it more. People need to see it more. And when there are a lot of knowledge, but people don't take in that, and a lot of people sadly don't think ADHD is a thing. I've had a lot of teachers when I said, "Hey, I have ADHD. I need this. I need help with this." Said, "But ADHD is not a thing. Do you really have it?" Yes, I have been to multiple doctors. I have got a diagnosis. Yes, I have it. So knowledge. We need more knowledge about everything.
Again, communication, which is an interesting thing because in a world where we're ever so connected, we seem to communicate less than ever before. If you could speak directly to sports clubs that hesitate to include people with disabilities, what would you tell them?
Listen. Communication is important. And also, when you get someone with a disability or ADHD or whatever in your group, do research about that so you know what it is. Well, you can know what to have, but what is it? What does it do? What problems could they have in both in the sport and in their daily life? And talk to them so you know how to help them and if they need any help.
Jessica.
Well, I'd say that it's not as hard as clubs think to include para-athletes. I'd say that in a modern day sports club, para-athletes are a normal part of it. They should be there, they should be seen and seen as athletes. And especially, well, I know about swimming. So in swimming, we have support systems. If you want to start a para group, you can get help with that. You can talk with professionals and the people who work at the federation or other coaches who have been doing para swimming. So they're going to help you. It's not as hard as people think.
So when you talk about misconceptions, and obviously you know about swimming, what's usually the first things you start doing when a disabled athlete enters the swim club?
Well, we start with communicating, talking a lot, how the athlete's day looks like. Do they have school? Do they have work? How we can combine the hobby or the sport with their life, and what they expect of us coaches, what they need help with, for example. So it's a lot of talking in the beginning.
So there's no actual need for paraphernalia or like something huge changes. It's just
I don't think so. Yeah, exactly. A lot of communication.
Okay. Aaron.
I agree with you too. It's important for clubs to have the knowledge and about it, and it's not so hard to start a group. And maybe also clubs could different clubs could work together to share information and maybe also split the cost of equipment and.
Okay, yeah. Lena?
Well, I agree with all of you. Actually, I think that the attitude you can actually get through to people by inviting them into the groups. It's really important that you have an inclusive environment. And inside the club, it's really good to take the chance to get a diverse athlete group, because you're going to learn from each other so much. You're going to start to understand and honor each other in new ways that you didn't know before.
Let's turn it to a bit of a more positive note. What gives you hope for the future of inclusive sports?
Actually, I hope that the future, I think deaf sports in general, I think it looks good because the knowledge is getting better. But in the para sport world, it's more about maybe about resources. They have more resources in general if you compare it to the deaf sport world. So I think by combining the two and doing more co-working with more amongst these two, it's going to get better. And also a lot of people don't know about deaf sports and deaf Olympics, for example. So we need to get out more information to everybody and do more cooperation. And the positive attitude, of course, the most important thing.
Definitely. Aron.
No. For example, this seminar to come together and share information, and it gives me hope. And also that thanks to social media, you can see more things just about parasport and learn faster and easier than before.
Yeah, social media is a great place for role models. Yeah, Jessica.
Well, there's a younger generation coming up working with sports. I think they see inclusivity as an important thing. It's not a privilege, it's supposed to be there. So I think that helps. And from a research point of view, that there is more research being done and published, I think that's super important to level up in the parasports in general. Yeah. I had something else too, but I forgot about it.
Well, that happens, but you're a part of that because you're coming with
Yeah.
your own research and so on, and certain things just get baked into what becomes the norm, so to say.
Exactly, yeah.
Corinne.
Well, I'm hoping in the future and to get better with ADHD and parasport, we coaches need more education and both the coaches and then the people in the clubs that don't like meet the kids but do the administration stuff. Everybody needs more knowledge and needs more education about all of this. And then stuff like these seminars, they're free. You can be both here in person and watch online. It's not so hard to personal link and sign up, and then you can watch it from your bed or come here. It's not hard, and it's free. So more people, especially coaches, need to do that. And I don't think a lot of people realize how important it is to actually do it. But I wish more people would come to these things and watch it online or come here.
Start small. Yeah. So actually building on that, how can we better represent adaptive and para athletes in media and sports events?
Well, talking about it more, and also have para groups, and also letting them compete. I know in my club, we right now we don't have a para group, but that was because a lot of people didn't sign up for it. So it was for few people to have a group. And also post about it on social media, talk about it on social media and in person, and have more stuff like this, more free education seminars. And on Åland, where I'm from, right now there was a lot of, people will come to talk about ADHD, but some of them are quite expensive. to go on. And if you have a small club, you might not have the money to put on that, to send coaches to it. And you might not have money to get people to talk about it. So also, the people you have in your club with disabilities, let them talk. Have a meeting with all the coaches and have someone with a disability in the club to talk about it, what needs to be done.
Well, I actually have an own example from our swimming group. We started an Instagram account, I think it was last year, to show that we do paraswimming and they perform on an elite level. And we have the swimmers do it themselves. Of course, we coaches post when we're at competitions and stuff, but they get to have My Day videos, anything that's popular right now. So they can show people who follow our account that this is how my day looks like. I go to practice, I go to swim meets, I compete, and then they can show tips and tricks that this is how this works in my class, and you should think about this when I'm a blind swimmer or anything.
So making content.
Yeah, we've done that. Yeah,
Yeah.
we started small, and it's been good. People get more interested. They ask a lot of questions, send us messages, and ask stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Aaron, how could we better present our athletes in the future?
Not just with social media and telling more about it to people, and yeah, being more open to explain and have these seminars, and where you can also come and tell about your own experience, like I am right now doing.
Openness. Yeah, that's a really good word.
Yes.
Lena.
Yeah, I agree with all of you once again. To get out information is very important, and of course to try to get young people to come with and be a role model for them, so they have something to look up to. And also, it's really important that the coaches have the information they need, and usually they are prepared to do whatever it takes, as long as they get more experience. Also, when they have more knowledge, they will adapt and make it better. Oh, and it's very important to let people represent themselves and be representative in a norm world.
Right. This means that we now have time for questions for our four fantastic panelists. Any questions in the room? Yes. Activate your microphone. It turns red. Looks like, yep, there we go. No, we can't. Let's try the.
Hello?
There we
Yes.
go. Hello.
So you talked a lot about the importance of communicating with the athletes, but I found that with very young groups and with larger groups, when I've tried to communicate, it hasn't really worked. Do you have any concrete ideas as to why and how to improve on that?
Is that a question to all the panelists, or?
Maybe for Jessica and Corinne.
Well, that's a hard one, but I usually do with my athletes. I talk to them one by one, one-on-one, so that I understand how they communicate and what works for them. But we don't have a large group. We have two groups. We have a hobby group and then a competitive group. So I I get the struggle because the hobby group is, I think we have 12 swimmers in it, and it can be hard. It can be super hard to get your point across.
I take like 5 minutes before or after practice and talk with the kids by themselves. And when like really small children, they might not know what they need. So with small kids, also take 5 minutes after practice and talk with the parents. And you don't need to have a long sit down talk, but 5, 10 minutes. It will make a difference, and it is important.
We actually have a few questions from online, and I think the most important one here that we can answer quickly is what's the name of your paraswimming team on Instagram?
It's Paraswim by Skills. You can go check it out.
Paraswim by Skills.
Yes.
Perfect. Good. Any other questions in the yes?
Hi, my name is Henrietta from Finlandssvenska Idrott. First of all, thank you for a great panel discussion. It's been very interesting to listen to it. I have a question for you, Jessica, as well. You mentioned something very promising and interesting when you said that the younger generation seems to be more including and including everyone. And I wonder, is this something that you come across in your research, or do you know the cause? Because that's a very positive thing for the future. So I'd be interested to hear.
Well, it's mostly from my job at the pool. That's when I see it, and at competitions. But I hope to figure it out in my research too. We'll see what happens in a few years if I can answer you better then.
Thank you. 2 tips to make the sports club more neurodivergent friendly. I think we actually touched upon that. Actually, this is a one. Thank you for the inspiring conversation. What would you like to see that national sports organizations do to help local sports clubs with inclusivity? Lina.
Okay, can you please repeat the question, or can I?
What would you like to see that national sports organizations do to help local sports clubs with inclusivity?
Well, maybe to have more information. Maybe to channel. I don't know if I understand the question, but maybe my English is not that good. So could you please ask me the question again so I can take it from my interpreters?
So we spoke about kind of club level, but on a national level, like what would you know?
Okay. Well, if we're thinking about the national level and the Association for Deaf Sports in Finland, I mean, of course, to get more young people to join the clubs, and that would be one, and support them. So we will get more athletes when they grow up. And we need to listen to all the athletes who are joining and support them as best we can. And of course, in Finland, it's school, the Association for Deaf Sports, who are having the most responsibility in this question right now.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
So Kim Lindblad again from Humak University of Applied Sciences. I just want to get back to the discussion and the question raised here, like how to actually facilitate and get the communication going. Myself having about 20 years of experience also working as a teacher, meeting people also from different various cultural backgrounds, also with learning disabilities as well. I think that the key to successful communication is to think about accessibility, linguistic accessibility, and thinking about how you address things in communication. So think about who you are actually speaking to and how you present things, and also how you take in what the other part is saying. So communication, there's no one way of having good conversations or good communication. You need to be a professional in that way. And of course, that is a challenge, I'm sure, in no matter profession, whatever profession you work within, or especially if you think about in sports associations where you are very much sometimes also dependent on just voluntary people who may, yes, coach or whatever. So just as a thought.
That's interesting because usually when we work at Ironman events, we talk about communication and the number one rule of communication, that all communication is doomed to fail at some point. And that is an interesting thing because it forces you to think about how, when, where, to who, and what you want the end result to be. And I think that's a good introduction, or actually closure, to our next point, which is, well, something the Finns do most in world per capita, and the Swedes do really well. And since we have both Finns and Swedes here at Hanaholmen, a coffee break and fika, that's what it's time for. We'll meet you back here in 10 minutes. And thank you very much to all our panelists. 10-minute break.
Welcome back from the break. I hope you enjoyed it. Nice rounding here. Next, we'll dive into nature and sport facilities with accessibility in mind. Our next speaker is a founding member and chairperson of the association Rammat Retkeilijät ry. Welcome adaptive outdoors and accessibility specialist Niko Halminen to the stage.
Thank you. Let's see if my mic wires still survived. Yes, they did. So, thank you for the day so far. I am Niko. I'm a white man using a wheelchair. I have long hair tied to a man bun and some spectacles and a bit of beard. I built this PowerPoint for you to dive into the accessibility. But I feel that today is more important for me to be an activist and tell you why we should include people and ask you a few questions. So let's see how this works. It's a pointer. So, accessibility information in advance is a key factor in getting us, the disabled people, to do sports and take part in society altogether. But the very first step is to make our society accessible. It is the very first step in equality or equity. And as you can see, this place isn't exactly accessible. It's kind of accessible, and that is something that shouldn't happen. And now, I think accessibility is a human right, no less. And I want to go deeper into this. So if we have no access, we are not seen. If we are not seen, there is a lack of representation. A lack of representation for ourselves, but also to society, how the society and other people see us as parts of this society. So it narrows down our possibilities that we can ourselves think for ourselves and how the society thinks we can be able to do things. And as of now, we are not seen as the largest minority that we are. Like most of you professionals there are not disabled. 15 to 35% of Finnish people are disabled. Depends on counting different types. So are there 15% of all you disabled? No, there are not as many people as there should be where you sit. So the basic boils down to accessibility. So like we see here, the ramps are way too steep for actually use. Like Aaron did it very well, but he's a very pro athlete. I'm not a pro athlete. I'm a berry picker and a canoeist, and I like to hang in hammocks. I don't do high peaks or skiing. That's just who I am. So we have to think, who do we wish to include? Who do we make this world for? And that's why it is so important to have accessible places and then information about the accessibility. So what makes accessibility in the physical environment? There are 4 aspects of accessibility in Finnish accessibility frameworks. Locomotion, so that's getting around different ways. Hearing, seeing, and understanding. All these are equal parts and should be taken as such. Nowadays, I think it was 22 when this was first released. Here is a picture of the dimensions of accessibility in physical activity. The dimensions are around in a circle, and only one of these dimensions refer to a person's own skills. All other aspects are parts of the environment and other people. So there's spatial, physical, technical, temporal, informational, economic, legal, or organizational, and cultural, attitudinal dimensions. Those are the ones that make or break the taking part in sports. And the only one that is personal, it's the skills. So the skills that a person has. All these others can help or break the ability to take part. And then social dimension is a part of a filter. Like in interaction with other people and the environment, can we see ourselves as doing this? Is this for me? Can I see people like me doing stuff like this? And then there's this mental dimension, which is the actual point where we make the decision. It includes our history, our hopes and dreams, but also our fears. And all this comes together to make sports and other things in society possible. And this is what we should be talking about when we talk about accessibility in sports. So how can we make the world more accessible? We need to have information in advance. If the information is lacking, it is very difficult to make the decision to participate. It's way easier, for instance, for me as an ambulatory wheelchair user, which means I can walk a bit, I can even do stairs and stuff. It's easy for me to go and try out. But we have to think about the people that cannot walk, cannot do these things as I can, or as Aaron told whatever great things he has achieved. We are just individuals. We should be looking at this from the broader sense. Can everybody actually attend, for instance, this place. So the information I got here was that this is accessible. There's a lift on the first floor and stuff like that. Then when I come in, there are impossible steep like declines on these ramps. So if I were not to be able to walk, I couldn't come here. If I were a electric wheelchair user, that might be too steep for that wheelchair. So again, this defines who can attend these places. And this we have to change. Us, the disabled people, have learned not to trust these accessible like things like we are accessible or this venue is accessible. We need actual information, actual facts. We need measurements, distances, angles, and directions. If I say small threshold, if I say low ascent, if I say wide doors, all those things mean different things for different people. But if I say 20 millimeter threshold, that is 20 millimeter threshold. If I say 8% ascent, that's 8% ascent. If I say door opening width is 950 millimeters, I can think of that as can my playing like tennis chair go through those doors? It's, let's say, a meter wide. No, it can't. Then I have to think of different things. This said, the point of accessibility information is not to present perfect situations. It's to present the current situation. Lots of people, or even most of us, the disabled people, can adapt to inaccessible situations if the information is provided in advance. The adaptations might include personal assistance, taking more assistance, like preparing in advance, different choice of mobility aids. So if I know that I can't use the wheelchair, I might think of different ways to attend. How can I walk short distances and still be part of this? And then asking for simple accommodations. So it is very important to have some way of reaching out to the sports club or whatever and asking for accommodations. They might be simple, like, can you help me get in because I cannot see where I'm going from the parking lot or whatever. So make sure your phone number or some other way of contacting is available. Then we might take preparation in advance. That might be resting in advance or taking time to rest after the sports. So taking accommodations to make this happen. This is about the information, but then how to present the information. In a word, the information should be multi-sensory. So one should be able to see, read, hear, or understand it, or all of the above, if possible. So seeing the information, it's videos, maps, pictures, and symbols. Reading means text as text, so that it is readable with screen readers, and it can be magnified. So don't flatten PDFs to pictures. Make sure that it's still in text. Hearing the information means, again, screen readers, being able to read the text, video voiceovers, or different kinds of audio files. And then finally, understood means that the information should be understood. So you should use simple language and short sentences and use the symbols. That helps everybody to pick up information fast, but then it helps people with disabilities to understand the information. And it helps for people who have different mother tongues than used. So this helps everybody. What kind of basic information should you give? I built this in 4 segments, and first is getting to. So first one, usually lacking or many times lacking, is the address. Put on the address. Where are we going to? That helps a lot. Then we should figure out how to get there. So public transport, is there accessible public transport available? Parking, is there accessible parking available? Where is it? Is it close or whatever? Is there a drop zone or parking for transport services? Many of us disabled people use transport services, so we need spaces for them to operate. And we need a waiting area for those. We need a roof over our heads so we don't have to wait in rain and sleet. The next one is getting in. Is the entrance visible? Are the doors automatic? Are they heavy? Can I open them myself? Are there thresholds or steps getting in? And then we skip that one. And then other basic information needs are orientation within the building. So directions, tactile guidance, induction loops, and stuff like that. And then how to function within the environment. Where are the toilets? Are they accessible? Changing rooms, can I get in? Are they accessible? Showers, the same thing. So can I actually function within this environment? Most easy way to make information available in multiple ways is to use your smartphone. Film a short video starting from the accessible parking or the transport spot, if that's near enough. Talk through the accessibility and caption it with AI, and then publish the video. Here's an example. If this goes via email to you, you can check it out. It is as important to describe the actual sports when doing accessibility information. So not only the facilities, but the actual sports. That might include who is this for? Is it a specialized group, open for all, beginner or advanced? What basic skills are needed? What are the physical and mental demands? And then are there any accommodations available? And maybe I'll skip the outdoors part because 20 minutes is such a short time. I want to emphasize on this a bit. We, the trained professionals, do it better. And what does it mean? There are trained professionals who can help you make the accessibility information available. It's basically taking time to provide measurements, documents, and photographs. In Finland, we are called esteettömyyskartoittaja, which means accessibility survey provider, if we just translate it. I don't know if there are such things abroad, but yeah. Why do I emphasize this is that when using experts by experience, the individual's experience highlights the trouble they are having within the environment. But we as trained professionals take care that all the 4 aspects of the physical accessibility are being met to. So please use us professionals. Yep. So thank you so far. And then we might talk a little bit. If you have questions or thoughts, would be nice to share them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nico.
Thank you.
Please join me here. I think we
Yeah,
have a few.
thank you.
Do you have any questions in the room for Nico? If not, I think we have some from, yes. Where can I get help to make accessibility information about our sports venue?
Well, go to paralympia.fi and look for accessibility information there. It's in Finnish, but
Finnish is an easy language.
yeah, I have spoken it from like basically birth, so it's easy. So yeah. But yeah, you can find accessibility checklists and ways to do it yourself, and that's what I like to ask of you within sports clubs, to make the information available as best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Start from somewhere.
And then maybe you said you had a service too. You
Yeah.
Obviously.
I or many others that have been trained, we can do it also. So if you have money in your pocket, please call us and we'll do an excellent job of it. Yes.
Then there's another question. The two most important things to think about when we want to create accessible sports events or clubs. Easy tricks.
Easy tricks. There are no easy tricks, but
Exactly.
but let's take a moment. We had a project with Miika Honkonen, and he had a thought of describing accessibility like having a tall stroller or cart, the kind of metal thing.
Oh yeah.
And that you fill with stuff, and then you have to push it around. And if you are able to push that thing around within your environment, you know that it is accessible. You cannot see from behind the high trolley, and then you have to push it like 80 kilograms up different kinds of ascents or descents. If you are able to do that, you're pretty close to accessibility. But then you have to think of seeing and hearing in addition, and the understanding. But the physical accessibility could be thought of as such. But there are four things you have to keep in mind and go through those.
Your explanation was actually spot on, because one of my jobs used to be moving stuff around in carts, and I can tell you that building was far from accessible. Which also created a lot of gray hairs for me. Do we have any questions in the room? Or
come on, somebody.
Otherwise, we can take one from the stream, and which is, we have more than 10 competition locations during a season. How can we make sure all of these are accessible?
Call me. I'll come and see. Yeah, but basically,
I see a trend here.
Yeah, basically, start from somewhere. Start making progress. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make the information available, and when you check your own facilities, you find out what is wrong within them, and then you can find ways to work around them and do a better job in accessibility and the information provided.
But this is one thing actually that we spoke about, just a second, we spoke about today too, is you don't have to have everything perfect, as long as there's a will and as long as there's an understanding to try to develop, right?
Yeah.
And then communication, talk,
Yeah.
and then call you.
And call.
Yeah, exactly.
And the communication goes into this information. If the information isn't available, there is very little possibilities for us, the disabled people, to go to your sports club. There are a few of us with thick enough heads that we just try it out as we can, but we have to think about those who cannot. So I wrote down ability, capability, and skill when listening to Aaron. So we have to make a difference between the actual capability and skill. So many of us disabled people, no matter how much we train, We cannot go do the Kebnekaise thing. We have to adapt different ways. And this is one thing I want to ask you professionals here. Are we still in a state that you need inspiration to accommodate for us, the disabled people? Do we still need inspiration, or could we just do this as a regular thing? Yeah.
Good question. We had one question. Yes.
No.
That's the one that's broken. Congratulations, you managed to find the only one in the room that.
Does this work?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Inka Laitinen from Finnish Cheerleading Federation.
Hi.
I'm the event producer there and in charge of all of our competitions. We have different locations every year, so a lot of different places all the time. This checklist that you provided is perfect because it gives us what we need to enclose in our informations. Is there, like you mentioned that you could come into the place and see how it is, but is there also a service that we could ask you to go through our information and to point out if there's something that we need to clarify?
Yeah, there are lots of accessibility specialists that provide the information part of this. I'm mostly familiar with physical accessibility myself, but then there are specialists who do well this information kind of thing from the point of view of screen readers and such. So please go Google and find the right people. And I want to say at this point that it is not the responsibility of the sports club like to provide the information. It should be done by the owner of the facility. This is not done because there is no harm. You don't get fined.
No penalties.
Yeah. No penalties come from lack of accessibility. So that is why our municipalities don't actually make what they are like supposed to do, the information available or the accessibility.
I think you need to give this lady your business card.
Yeah, maybe I don't have any. So.
Well, exchange. I don't know how do you exchange detail. Anyway, your electronic business. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Nico.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Before we let Ronja, actually, he gave you the clicker, which is right there. Perfect. Before we let Ronja loose, I would like to remind you of the Mentimeter. We'd love to hear what you have taken away, and what type of thoughts this has provoked, and how we can promote a more inclusive community. If you haven't yet participated in discussion, it's really easy. We'll repeat the instructions one more time. Scan the QR code or go to menti.com. Use the code 72309690. Perfect. Now, it is time to hear not just one box, a story of intersectionality. My colleague from today, Ronja, please.
Thank you. Usually, when I enter a room, the really first thing people recognize about me is my blindness. The fact that I lack of vision. And I bet that today, when I first entered this room at this stage, I started talking to you, telling you, giving you all this information. The first few seconds, you all was, oh, she's blind. And that's okay. That's perfectly natural. I'm not blaming any of you. What I'm trying to say is that we humans have an unfortunate but natural habit of putting people into boxes. And usually, to keep matters simple, we only want to use one box. But the fact remains that no one of us can be squeezed to just one box. For example, you might be a 25-year-old woman, but you're not just a woman. You might also be an atheist, a mother, a gamer, and a million other things. So if there's one thing I want you to remember from today, from my speech here, it's that when you're meeting someone for the first time, try to get to know them, really get to know them before you put them into a box. Okay, I was planning to present it myself, but I think you all know me by now because I've been standing here on the stage that much. But just for repetiting, I'm totally blind. I'm a blind paraswimmer, and I compete in the class S11. And today, I'll be discussing intersectionality through the lens of my own life. So, intersectionality. Intersectionality is about how different identities overlap each other, how we're not solely one thing. Take me as, for example, I'm not just blind, I'm also a woman. I'm also a part of a culture and language minority, and I'm also gay. So I have 4 boxes I could fit into. I don't know if you ever tried to do that, but it's quite hard. I would need to be some kind of octopus or something to do that, and I'm just a human. So my solution is as simple as not even trying to fit into those boxes. I don't feel any need to do that. It's usually other people who are, in general, creating those boxes for me. I've got no problem with being blind, Finland Swedish, and lesbian. But for some reason, people have trouble with accepting that I can be all 3 at once. Apparently, you can't be both blind and gay. I think I missed that memo. Could someone send it to me? It's too late. Anyway, don't mind. So being blind and gay somehow seem to exclude each other. And I'd really like to know why. Because would you not be surprised to hear I was gay if I could see? I don't think that would be such a big deal for anyone. And unfortunately, it's not just non-disabled straight people who need to be educated on this matter. Because the thing is that as queer disabled people, we're often excluded from both the disabled community and the queer community. The so-called problem with these kinds of double identities is that among the disabled ones, you're different because of you being queer. And among the queers, you're different due to impairment. So it's not that strange if you sometimes feel that you don't really fit in anywhere, that you're stuck between boxes. And yes, I felt that too, many times, maybe too many. But if there's one piece of advice I'd like to give someone who feel that they're stuck between groups and don't know which box they should belong into, I'd maybe say that the box doesn't really matter. It's not the box that's the thing. The thing is that the people you surround yourself with, the people you choose to spend time with, make sure that they make you feel seen and loved. And that makes a difference. I don't usually go around presenting myself like, hi, my name is Ronja and I'm a blind Finland Swedish lesbian. It sounds a bit ridiculous, don't you think? And the fact is that not every aspect of your identity matters in every situation. When I'm speaking about parasports, for example, it doesn't matter that I'm bilingual. It doesn't matter that I'm gay. And the fact that I'm blind doesn't really matter either, but because I'm blind, apparently, thanks to my blindness, it still does. I know it is complicated. What I'm trying to say is that who we are, our identity, colors the lens through which we see and experience world. And when you belong to as many minority groups as I do, they're just bound to affect the way you perceive and navigate the world. There's no other chances of it. But why does this matter? Why is this important? Why am I standing here in front of you talking about this? Okay, I'll take myself as an example again. It's perhaps obvious that my blindness has affected my career the most, my athletic career. Without me being blind, I wouldn't call myself a parathlete, and I wouldn't be here standing in the first place. I would be somewhere else, probably at school, where I should be, but I'm here. But that's nicer, so I'm not complaining. Also, the fact that I'm blind has, or because I'm blind, I had to use an assistant during practice and training, a so-called tapper. And having tappers and people around me while I'm practicing and competing, it has shaped my experience of this sport to more of a team sport rather than an individual one. Even though it's still me who's making the work, the tapper is not swimming, believe it or not. That's the dark side of it anyway. No, the bright side, not the dark. The dark side is that I've experienced discrimination, and I witnessed many times how differently people treat parasports versus able-bodied sports. And people, they are prejudiced. They have many things they assume. I just have to add a small side note here, because if I'll take an example of this kinds of, because I hear a lot of things when I'm out there in the world, and especially at swimming pools and when I'm swimming. So last summer, I was going to swim on my own time outside of practice, so I was like going the same lane as everyone else because that's how we do it. You know, in swimming holes and pools, they have these different line markers like fast lane and slow lane and whatever. So I'm a competitive swimmer, so I went to the fast lane, of course, because that's where I belong. And I was there putting on my goggles and cap and everything, and then this guy swims up to me. He just pokes up his head from the water and like, hey, the slow lane is next to this one. Yeah. I know. Yeah, this is the fast lane. That's right. What do you mean? Yeah, so we have mostly competitive swimmers here. Well, it's good I have these Finnish national medals at home. I think I'm at home here. What's the problem? He didn't say a word after that. He just continued swimming. But the best part of this story, next week, same time, same place, same guy comes up to me. I'm there again, putting on my goggles, putting on my cap, making me ready for a nice little swimming workout. And he comes up to me and he says, you know what? I was kind of jerk last week. I'm sorry. I was like, well, that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. But you know not to assume anything. Not to assume that a blind swimmer who's coming there is not fast enough for the fast lane. Because you don't know. And my point is maybe that we don't know what people are, and we don't know without asking and without getting to know them. So there's no point of putting us into boxes. And now I'll go back to my script. So the second thing that has, not the second thing, so many things here, I lost count. Thing that has had the second biggest impact on my career is my gender. And the reason shouldn't maybe surprise anyone at this point, because we've talked a lot about equality in sport these days. So it's unfortunate but true that still people treat different and act differently towards male and female athletes, still in 2025. Can you wrap your head around it? Like, really? 2025, and still you're like, oh, but you're just a girl. Okay, I'm a Finnish champion, what's the problem? But yeah, having that said, to being underestimated because of being a woman is nothing compared what transgender and non-binary athletes has to experience every day. Having that said though, In my experience, the swimming community is mostly fair. But it's outside of sport, where I've been underestimated because of my gender. Even though it's hard for me to really know if it's because of my gender or because of my blindness, because I can't separate them. I can't choose, well, today I'm just gonna be a woman and tomorrow I'll be blind and not a woman. It doesn't work like that. Then the thing that I think many of you might find surprising is that I've never felt that my sexual identity would matter during my athletic career. Not a single time have I experienced homophobic behavior. But again, probably the story would be a different one, and is a different one for gay men. It's still harder to be gay when you're male than when it's to be female. Okay, I've been complaining here and rattling around problems and why don't people see me as a whole person? It's unfair. Solutions, they're always nice. Even though they're not very easy, always. But anyway. My personal solution to all of this is better representation. It's not that strange that we want to put each other in boxes, only one box, when the media we consume only ever shows one dimension. Or how many books and movies have you read and seen where there's a disabled character? And the chance of that character being queer? Well, it's about as high as spotting a unicorn at the bus stop, so not that high. Sure, we people make assumptions, but broader representation would help us to understand that each and every one of us is more than just that one single thing we see when they enter a room. When I said yes to this presentation or speech or talk or whatever you want to call it, my first thought was, why? Why am I doing this? Why am I willingly standing in front of all of you, all these people, talking about such personal things? Why am I coming out to a whole auditorium like, yeah, hello? And honestly, I had to think about it for a while. It wasn't that simple. It wasn't easy, even though in the end it turned out to be quite simple. Because I'm doing this for all those out there who are like me, who always felt out of place, who always had to carve out a space for themselves, who never had anyone to look up to because they never fit into any of those boxes they were put in. And I'm doing this for all those of you there who work with people like me, so you can understand us a little better, so you can make the next practice, the next competition, for a little bit more safe place for us, so that you can see that we're not just one box. No you, no me, not those who share parts of my experiences. We're not just one box. We're complex beings, and we're stories. We're stories made of voices, opinions, dreams. Some dream about a home and a dog. Some dream about the Paralympics in LA like I do. And even though our dreams and stories and boxes and opinions are different, we all have one thing in common. We all are human. And that's something I really wish we would be better at. Seeing the human first, before any labels and those boxes. So thank you. And if you have any questions or you're curious about something, I'll be very happy to answer.
Day. Thank you, Ronja.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes, one over there.
Hi, you can hear me? Okay.
Yes.
This is not really a question, but a comment and appraisal for your presentation. I would like to thank you for sharing your story so openly in front of the people here in the auditorium and also online. Must not have been easy thing to do, but it shows a lot of courage. And I hope there would be people there listening and that you gave a lot of courage to accept them as they are, that you know who you are, and that's enough. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Do we have any questions from the stream? We can, yes. Okay. Hang on. That was unexpected. Okay, perfect. You are so amazing, Ronja. It's not a question, it's a comment.
Thank you.
Great keynotes and panelists, all of them. Perfect. Let's see. Ronja, thank you. Impressive. What's next for you in life and as a para-athlete?
Oh, next for me, that was a big question. Next for me is in life, I'll finish my upper secondary school. That's quite big. And as a para-athlete, I hope we'll have the European Championships next summer. So if they are, I'll be there.
Okay.
Hopefully. But yeah, in the short term, nationals in 2 weeks. So
Nationals in 2 weeks.
yes. And now
Good
I'm
luck.
here and the nationals. So
Perfect. How do you include people with intellectual disabilities ID? We've heard about NPF, mobility, disabilities, intersectionality, and sensory impairments today, but not much about on ID. Is that a question for you?
I don't think so.
Or is that a question? No, that's probably a question. Perfect. That means I need to be better at actually moderating these questions. So just a second, give me.
It's okay.
Perfect. What's next for you in life? Then there was. Perfect. If we don't have any other questions in the room, then yeah. Now, actually, what you said, assumption is the key root of all evil.
That's right.
which brings us to communication, which we've been talking a lot about today. We approach the end of today's event. It's been truly inspiring. Thank you, Ronja, to hear all of the other perspectives and experiences on promoting inclusion and equity in sports. Well, I mean, there's fair to say there is a clear goal, and that is to include more people. We've come a long way, but there's still a lot to do. You still have time to write on Mentimeter. If you want to scan that QR code, we'll put that up soon. And then we can have a look about what you've been writing about and what of concrete actions you plan to take in your own work to promote a more inclusive sports community. Yeah. So yeah. So
I'm off the script now.
You're off the script now.
I'm off the script. Jag har inte på mig monitor. Jag använder the monitor on.
You have a question, actually. We can.
Sorry.
Actually, it's not a question, but it's also a comment that, speaking of assumptions, I just want to tell Ronja that when you said, I think I speak on behalf of others, but when you said, when we saw you, that we thought, or I thought, oh, she's blind. What I actually thought is, wow, how cool. She's blind and she's here talking to all of us.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that I'm wrong. I like to be wrong in this case. I'm more than happily wrong in this case.
I'll help you.
I can't put this thing on. This is hard. Technique is horrible.
There we go.
Thank you.
Feel better, huh?
Yes.
Perfect. Now let's see what you've written down. Thank you, FSC and the organizers, for an inspiring day. It's always a pleasure to participate in Let's Be Better. Thank you, Ronja. Your speech really made me think about the different kind of boxes we humans create and why we really do that. You're a great role model, which is true. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, great insights today.
Yep. Wonderful insights, and I hope that we all learned something new and we found something to think about and be inspired of and found some new motivation to carry forward with.
Well, warm thank you to Hanna Holmen and especially Tina and Dennis for today. We thank you to our expert speakers, and you've truly made an impression on us. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for participating today. Without our participants both in here and online, this wouldn't be possible. We hope you gained new perspectives and tools to promote inclusion and equity in sports. And we'll send you the feedback survey and the material package after the seminar. And I'd like to say it's optional to answer that, but it's not.
No, go and answer it. It's good.
So yeah, it's yeah. And then if you'd like to return the keychains, these lanyards, we would be happy if you could do that. And yeah, thank you for me.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all, and wishing you a great rest of the year and even a better next one. And be safe on your travel home. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.